All right, number 29 are the Chicago Bears, who just made a bunch of moves on the waiver wire. They claimed 6 guys, including former first-round pick from the Raiders, Alex Leatherwood. But my question here is, just will another black and blue season do irreparable damage to Justin Fields?
Man, that is a good question.
How much punishment can this guy take before it really stunts his growth? And because we think he can be a dynamic player in this league. He was the guy that I wanted the Patriots to draft last year instead of Mac Jones. So I'm just curious if he does take quite another beating this year, what that does for his long-term development.
You hit the bullseye on that question for the Bears, because the roster, the way it's currently constituted with 6 new players, usually when you pick up a lot of other people's cuts,
right?
You know, it means how happy were you with your roster during training camp, and now you're going to get these guys up to speed. Here come the 49ers to start the season. And if Fields doesn't have the weapons, doesn't have the protection, what does that do for his growth? Oh, my gosh, that is ultimately the spot-on question about the 2022 Bears. No doubt.
Number 28, I'm looking at the Atlanta Falcons, another team people could think is kind of be at the bottom. I think they might have sleeper potential. But for me, it's who's going to run the football on this team. Because when I look at their depth chart, it's not great when it comes to the running back position. You got Cordell Patterson. Yes, we know he's kind of a Swiss Army knife and could do it all, but he's not actually a running back, and he is over that 30 years of age mark for ball carriers. You got Damian Williams, who's on his 5th team, and Tyler Algier, who's a rookie. Just who's going to run the football to kind of take the pressure off Marcus Mariota, or if it does become Desmond Ridder, and kind of open up the passing lanes for Kyle Pitts to really have a breakout second year. Who's running the football?
That's my burning question for the Atlanta Falcons this year. Does Desmond Ridder start multiple games? That's it. Does Atlanta's season wind up with Arthur Smith saying, all right, Marcus and I go back to the Tennessee days. I gave him his shot. This kid Ridder, he could be ready. He was coming into this draft, along with Kenny Pickett, believed to be the most pro-ready, the most mature. The ready could be aim fire right now this year for Atlanta. Does he start multiple games for Atlanta this year? And do they start that clock in 2022? That's my question for Atlanta.
Both guys look good in the preseason, so we'll see. Number 27 for me is the New York Football Giants. And for this one, I'm kind of looking at Saquon. Can Saquon save this team and his quarterback? Because it's a huge year for both of these guys.
Yes.
We know the option wasn't picked up on Daniel Jones, so he's playing for his future. And Saquon has looked great in the offseason, in the preseason when he's been out there. He's fully healthy, and he's back. They have a new head coach, an offensive-minded head coach. And can he save this team and Daniel Jones?
I think it's interesting you weave Saquon into your question. I think it is, though, just about Daniel Jones. Clearly, Saquon, being a second overall selected player, is somebody that we're still waiting to see him reach some of the status like Jonathan Taylor reached last year. He hasn't been healthy enough to do that. We need to see him dominate football games. Yes, that would help with Daniel Jones, but still, that's in a position that the Giants need to evaluate. The burning question for me is, will Brian Daboll be the answer to Daniel Jones's viability as a quarterback in the NFL? Because they have to make that decision. They got to make it fast this year. And will the Giants be in a quarterback market next year? That's the burning question for them.
Back at square one. And will Saquon be on this team next year? I mean, he could be somewhere else if it doesn't go well. All right, lastly, I'm looking at the Detroit Lions, number 26. Basically, can they build on the Hard Knocks momentum? There's a lot of good feelings and good vibes around this team. We like Dan Campbell, but they're going with Jared Goff. They got a superstar, a young wide receiver. And I'm just wondering, can they build on it? Everyone's kind of excited about them heading into the year. We know they really competed and played hard, and they were in most games last season. And just can they keep that going into 2022?
Yeah, I just don't know if another plucky year is what they're looking for. We need to see some advancement. It can't just be, this is a team that come back on you when they're down 17. Like, it's time to win some football games in year 2, I'd imagine. Lions fans feel that way. Another good old plucky year where they're fun to watch in the summer on Hard Knocks. Got to do more than win Hard Knocks, which is what the Jets eventually did do. So we need to see that out of the Lions this year. Can they be a playoff team? Can they actually make a run and start beating some playoff teams and become one themselves this year? And is Aiden Hutchinson going to change the culture there potentially in the way that he did at Michigan? I mean, I can't wait to see that all play out. That's a burning question. I gave you a couple. You come up with just one, but those are your burning questions. Very good, Christopher.
Thank you.
And then tomorrow is
25 to 21.
Okay, there we go. And every day until we get to
Kickoff next Thursday.
There you go.